Shalom, everyone, and welcome to day 10 of your study of Biblical Hebrew. Today's letter is the letter Yod, and Yod makes the sound of the letter Y as in yes. So Yod makes a y sound, okay? And here's the other thing about Yod. It is a matres lectiones, a mother of reading. So just like the letter He and the letter Vav, Yod can act as a vowel also. And so that is the last letter that you should know that can act as a vowel. So 3 letters in Hebrew act as a vowel: He, Vav, and Yod. And this is the last letter you'll be learning that acts as a vowel. Okay, so moving on to the next thing you're going to be learning is some words in Hebrew. And you'll be learning how Yod acts as a consonant and also as a vowel. So in this word here, Yod is acting as a consonant. And let's break down the Hebrew. So we start here with the Yod, which is the consonant. It makes a y sound. And when we look down, we see the vowel here. The vowel here is kametz. You've seen it before. Not expecting you to know it though yet. But it makes an sound. So you have y and ya. So what we're going to do now is look over to the next letter, and you should know this one by now. It is a dalet. It makes a d sound, which is why it's transliterated with the D. So we have Yod is translated with a Y. The kametz is transliterated with an A because it makes an sound. And then the last one here is because it's a D because of the dalet. So you have the d sound. And now you have combining all the sounds together. You have y and so you have ya, d, and combine the sound together, you get yad. And so this word means hand, influence, strength, control, or power. So the word yad literally means hand, but this word hand or yad can be used metaphorically to symbolize influence, strength, control, or power, right? So some words in Hebrew can be used just like English, we can use them as metaphors. So if something is in your control, something's in your hand, right? So in the same way, Hebrew kind of does it where the hand symbolizes power or strength. So depending on the context, this word yad can literally mean hand, or it can mean power or strength. So in Hebrew, context is very important. Well, context is also important in English, but it's even more so with Hebrew when one word can mean more than one thing. Moving on, we're going to take a look at another word. And in this word, the letter Yod is acting as a vowel. So we're going to take a look at how it acts as a vowel now. So we look at this consonant here. This consonant is the letter Kaf. You haven't learned this yet. It's okay. I'm going to tell you what it is. So this letter Kaf makes a K sound, as in kite. So it makes a K sound, K. And that's why there's a K there. So we're going to look down now, and we see the vowel. It's a dot here, and it makes an E sound, as in the word ski, S-K-I, which is why there's an I here. But it doesn't make an I sound. It makes a E sound, as in the word ski. Okay? And so you have the E sound, and then we look over and we see the Yod. Now, this Yod is actually hinting that there's an E sound here. So this Yod and then this dot here is actually being paired together. You're supposed to see the Yod and the dot here as like one unit. So you won't make a Y sound. So you go K, and then you make the E sound. K, E. So the word is ki. And that's how the Yod acts as a vowel. It is being paired up with this dot over here. And that's kind of how it works. Kind of like how you saw the letter He, where you don't pronounce the He, but the He is hinting at the previous vowel to let you know what the sound could be. And this is mostly important when you're reading without any vowels, like these dots and dashes. When you don't have any of them, this becomes very important. So if we remove all the dots and everything, you need a hint to tell you what the vowel could be over here. And when you see the yod and this letter, you can make a guess that, oh, this is going to make an E sound. So the word would be ki, and that's how it helps you out. Just like the letter hey. It's not really making a sound, but it's hinting at what the sound could be. And that's how it helps you out when you don't have any vowels. But you don't ever have to worry about this because you will always have the vowels because you'll be reading the Hebrew Bible. Only if you're reading, as I said before, from a Torah scroll, there won't be any vowels in that. Then you would have to use the yod, the hey, and the vav as hints to help you figure out the word. Okay? So this word ki means for or because. So that's what this word means. So we're going to take a look at another word where yod is acting as a vowel. So we're going to start by looking at the first consonant. That is the hey. We've seen hey before, and it makes a h sound, as in hat. And then we look down and we see a vowel here. This is the vowel tsere, tsere. So it makes an a sound, as in the word 8. So you have E-I-G-H-T, 8, as in the number 8. So you have A. And then we look over and we see a yod over here. And we look down and there's no vowel here with the yod. So when you see the yod and you don't see any vowels surrounding the yod, like you look down, you look up, you don't see any dots or dashes around the yod, that means the yod is acting as a vowel. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to see that the yod and this tsere are acting as a unit together. The yod is giving you a hint that this vowel is underneath the hey. Because if you had no dots or dashes, remember these mothers are reading are mostly there to help you out when you don't have dots or dashes to tell you what the vowels are. They're hinting at it. So yod is hinting that there is a tsere underneath the hey. And so when you combine the h and the a sound, which is the yod and the tsere acting together as a unit, you get hey, hey. So your first combination of sounds are hey. Now we're going to look over to the next letter. This is a chaf, chaf. And yes, this letter makes the sound just like chet, chet. So chaf and chet make the same sound. You don't have to learn this letter yet. You will learn it later on. But I'm just telling you what the sound is for now. So you get the sound. So this letter makes a sound. And we're going to look down and we see the vowel here. This is a comets. Comets makes an ah sound, which is why I have an a here. And we're going to look over to the next letter, which is lamed. You haven't learned this letter yet either. It's okay. You will learn it later on. This makes an L sound. So l, which is why I have a l here. So looking at all the letter sounds, so we have the he here combined with tsere and the yod, you get a. So you have hey, hey. This is your first sound. Then you look over here and you see the chaf and the kamet. You go cha, cha, because chaf makes a ch sound and kamet makes an ah sound. So you go ch, ah, cha, cha. You get the cha sound. And then you look to the next letter, you get a l sound because it's just the lamed here. So you go hey, chal, hey, chal, cha-al, cha-al. It may be difficult at first to kind of combine the sounds, but you'll get used to it over time. So this word is heichal, heichal. And now we're going to see how the yod here without the vowels kind of hints at it. So if I remove this and take away the vowels here, you can see that you probably won't know what the sound is here. But when you see the hey and the yod together, you can make a guess. Oh, the yod is here, which means this could make an E sound, like we saw earlier, or it could make an A sound. And that's how the yod kind of hints at what sound could be made here. And for someone who's a native Hebrew speaker, they probably would know what the word is, because they would have heard it so many times growing up. They would know how to say it. So when they're reading, they will know exactly what the word is. They just know that the yod's hinting at it, and they know what the sound could be. But for us, or especially for me, my native language is English, so I probably won't know what the sound is without it. I'll know that the yod's hinting at it, so I'll have to do a little detective work and decipher what the sound could be or what this word is, and figure out whether it's an E or an A sound. So for someone who's not native Hebrew speaker, they'll have to do a bit more work in learning that. So this mostly helps you out when, as I said before, if you're trying to read a Torah scroll or something without any vowels. But for the most part, you don't have to worry about this because, as I said before also, that the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh, will have the vowels in it. It's just the Torah scrolls in the synagogue, if you were going up to read the Torah scroll, it won't have the vowels. But the Tanakh will have the vowels in it, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay? And this word, heichal, means temple or palace. Okay, so moving on, we're going to take a look at another word where yod is acting as a vowel. And yeah, the words look like they're getting longer, but don't worry. We'll break down the Hebrew of this word. So we're going to look at the first consonant over here. You haven't learned this yet. This letter is the letter Pei. It makes a P sound, which is why you have the P here. So you have P, P. And we're going to look down and we see a vowel here. And this vowel is chirik, chirik. And it makes an E sound. So you have P and E. And you get the combination of the sounds will be P, P. And then we look over and we see another letter. This is a kuf, or kof. Some people say kuf, some people say kof. Doesn't matter as long as if you know what the letter is. So kuf is, it makes a sound as the letter K here. So it makes a K sound. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look down. We don't see any vowels here and no vowels on top. So we're going to look over to the next letter here. And we see it's a vav, but we see a dot in the center here, which means we know that vav is acting as a vowel here, which means this vav has to be combined with the kuf. So you get the k sound, and when vav has a dot in it, it means it's shurik, and it's making an oo sound, oo, because the dot here is like it hit vav in the gut, so it's groaning and making an ooh sound. So you get the k and the oo. So you go ku, ku. So far the sounds we know is p, ku, ku. And now we're going to look to the next letter over here. This letter, you should know this letter. This is dalet. It makes a d sound, as in the letter D. Then we look down and we see 3 dots here. This is a segol, and it makes an sound. That's why we have the E here. So So now we're going to look over to the next letter over here, and it's a yod. And we look down, there's no vowels here, and we look up, there's no vowels. There's no vowels surrounding the yod, which means the yod has to be combined with the segol. So when the yod is actually hinting that there's a segol underneath the dalet, which means yod is acting as a mother of reading, a vowel letter, to hint at the sound that is under the dalet here. So we have the dalet here, which makes a d sound, and we have the segol here, which makes an sound. And it's combined with the yod, so we just know it's hinting at it. So it's an So you go d, de. So that's the sound here with this group, de. So we have p, ku, de, piku de. And then we look over to the next consonant. This is a chaf. Remember we saw it earlier in the previous word, and it makes the sound. So Chaf has two forms. It can be written as a backward C, like we saw earlier, and that form shows up when it's at the beginning of the word or in the middle of the word. But this form of the Chaf shows up only at the end of the word. And you don't have to worry about this now, you will learn it later. But this Chaf only shows up at the end of the word. And so we have the Ch sound, and then we look over and we see the comets, and it makes an ah sound. So you have the Ch and the ah, so you get cha, cha, cha. And here's the other thing which I think I forgot to tell you in the previous word. Chafs are sometimes like transliterated with the K and the H sound. Now, and the chet is translated with the C and the H. So it's just a matter of preference of how people translate it. Sometimes you can also translate with the C and the H, just like chet. But I like to do it with the K and the H to tell the difference when I'm reading the transliteration, to know that, oh, this is a chaf, and if I see a C and a H together, I know it's a chet. So that's just a matter of preference. So we have the cha here. Now we get pi ku de cha, pikudecha, pikudecha. And that's the word here. And if we remove all the vowels, you can see the yod here is going to hint at what sound it could make here. So the sound could be an E, it could be an A, or it could be an eh, as we saw here. E, A, or eh. And you don't have to worry about this. You just need to know. And this is only useful, as I said before, if you're trying to read something without any vowels. You don't have to worry about it because the Tanakh will always have the vowels for you, so you don't have to worry. So you just need to know that the yod is acting as a vowel here, so you don't get it confused and think that you have to make a Y sound. So you just have to know that, oh, the yod's here because it's hinting at what the previous vowel is. It's not going to make a Y sound. That's the only thing you have to know for when you're reading it with the vowels and everything, not to get it confused as a consonant. So this word pikudecha means your precepts, your commandments, and your statutes. So the chaf over here is functioning as the word your, and the rest of the word means like precepts, commandments, or statutes. Okay, so moving on to the next thing you'll be learning is how to write the letter yod. And it's actually the smallest letter in the Hebrew Bible. So it's just a line going like this, right here, and then down. And that's yod. It's like a very tiny square sort of bracket kind of thing. So that's it for yod. It's just a line across and then down. It's very, very small. Sometimes people don't even do the line across. They just do one line going down. You'll see that too. Just a line going down. So it's your choice how you want to write it. You can write it like this. You can just draw a line like that. But make sure your line, when it goes down, it doesn't touch the blue line. And don't make it too long. It has to be very small. Yod is one of those letters that looks like it's hanging in the air. So moving on, you're going to do a letter search now from Psalm 119. And you're going to find as many yods as you can. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to remove all the vowels so that it's easier for you to see the consonants like this, so you can actually see it. Otherwise, when you have the vowels, it kind of looks a bit too cluttered and you won't be able to focus on the consonants when you're learning. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to highlight God's name so you know where it is. And then I'm going to put a timer up and you're going to see how many yods you can find before the timer runs out. Now, if you need more time, you can always pause the video and take your time to find as many yods as you want. But if you like a challenge, you can always use the timer. Okay? And I'm going to put the timer up. Ready, set, go. And time's up. So this is how many yods are here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we have a total of 24 yods. And as you can see here, you've learned your last letter that is in God's name. So you've learned these other two letters here, Hey and Vav, and now you learned the letter Yod. So now you know all 4 letters that make up God's name. And also now, let's take a look and see if we can find any yods acting as vowels. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this first one here. We see a dot underneath, and then we see the yod. There's no vowels surrounding the yod, which means this one is a vowel. So the yod is acting as a vowel. Okay, so the next one here is the yod in God's name. And if you notice, the yods always follow a consonant when they're acting as a vowel. But the yod over here isn't following any consonant. There's no consonant before the yod in the word. The yod is the first letter in the name here. So yod is going to act as a consonant. Now we're going to look to the next yod. This is the yod here. There's no vowel surrounding the yod. The vowel here is underneath the previous letter, which means this yod here is acting as a vowel. Now we're going to look over here and we see a yod. Again, no vowel surrounding it, but there's a vowel underneath the previous letter, which means yod is acting as a vowel. These are working together. And we've already seen this word earlier in this video. This is the word ki, and it means for or because. Now we're going to look at the next yod here. Again, it's combined with a vowel here. So we can see the vowel under the previous letter, nothing around yod, which means yod is acting as a vowel. Again, over here on this one, we see yod is acting as a vowel because there's a chirik. Chirik's underneath this letter here. And we see the yod combined with that. So it's a vowel. Again, another chirik. We see yod in that, and it's a vowel. And again, another vowel. And again, another vowel, because we see the dot here. And then we see the yod. And again, you can see that chirik and yod is a very common combination of the vowels. You can see that. Then we look here. Now this is a new one. This is segol and then yod. So it makes an eh sound. So this one is a vowel. Okay, so the next one over here is this yod here. And it's not acting as a vowel in the sense of these letters, but it's being combined with another vowel over here. You can't see it because I took it out, but it's called a diphthong. So you don't have to worry about this. The yod here is not acting as a vowel letter, but it's acting as a diphthong with the other one here. So you can forget about this one. This one over here, this yod is acting as a diphthong. A diphthong is a combination of vowels that create a new sound. So as in the word oil, the O and the I in oil make an oi sound. That's a diphthong. And A and I combined together in the word aisle makes an I sound. So a diphthong is a combination of vowels that make a sort of new sound. Okay, so yod is actually being combined with a vowel underneath here to become a diphthong, and that's not what we're focusing on in this lesson. So we're going to go to the next one. Yod, and that is with the chirik and makes an E sound. So this one's acting as a vowel, again, acting as a vowel, because you can see the dot here. And then you have yod here with another segol. and it's acting as a vowel, so it makes an sound. And then you have, again, the dot here with the yod, so chirik, and then the yod, so it makes an E sound. That's another vowel. And then over here, again, another E sound. It's a vowel. Again, a vowel. And again, a vowel. So you can see that yod, a lot of the time in the Bible, you'll notice that it's acting as a vowel. You can see that as you look through this passage in Psalm 119, which reminds me that I forgot to change this. This is Psalm 119, but it's not verses 49 to 53. It is actually verse 65 to 72. Verse 65 to 72. So I made a mistake here. I forgot to change the verse numbering over here. Okay, so sorry about the verse numbering. And also, I just noticed another mistake. We don't have 24 yods, we have 25. I missed one over here. This yod here, and combined with this tsare, it's acting as a vowel. I think I made a lot of mistakes in this video while editing, and I forgot to color this yod too. So we don't have 24 yods, we have 25. And this yod combined with the tsare is a vowel. So sorry about the mistakes in this video. See, even other people who know Hebrew a lot can still make mistakes. So don't worry if you keep making mistakes too. It's fine. As long as if you know that you made a mistake and you can correct it. Make a mistake and you don't know that you made the mistake and you haven't corrected it, then that's the problem. But if you know you made the mistake and you're able to correct it, then that's the good thing. Okay, so moving on, what you should know from this lesson. You should know the name of this letter. It's yod. And the sound of the letter, it makes a Y sound, as in the word yes. So it makes a y sound. And the transliteration, it's transliterated as a Y. And the type of letter it is, it's a consonant, but it also acts as a vowel, as a mother of reading. And the club is none. It is not part of the gutturals, and it's not part of the Begad Kafat letters. So you don't have to learn any other club for this letter. You just have to know that it can act as a consonant or a vowel. Okay, and so that's it for this lesson, and I will see you in the next lesson where you learn the letter Kaf. Okay, so until then, shalom and God bless. Oh, and don't forget to listen to the Hebrew Aleph-Bet song linked in the description. Remember, always listen to the song after the lessons. It will help you remember the letters. Okay? So, see you in the next lesson.